What is up, Galaxians? Welcome to another episode of Galaxy CDs, Rocks, and Flips. If this is your first time stumbling on the channel, my name is Ryan, and I am a full-time reseller working out of my home here in the greater Cincinnati and Dayton areas. I'm going to include Dayton because I seem to find myself going up there a lot for estate sales. This channel is all about the flip life. Today's just a quick what's sold recap. I don't go over everything I've sold. I watch some of these, the other YouTubers, and they literally go over every single item they sold. And we'd be here all day going over like $10 and $12 books. So I really only share with you kind of the highlights, some unusual things that I've sold, either because of what they sold for or just what they are. And today's no exception. So let's just kick it off. This first item, this was part of a big lot that I picked up at an estate sale. I didn't pay anything for this lot. This was the one that I've talked about previously where the estate seller said if I could haul the stuff away, I could have them. These are little pocket guides. It's the U.S. Constitution. They were done by the ACLU. I assume they were probably giveaways. They're really small. I mean, they're literally pocket sized, and they were just in a box that happened to be part of this lot. And let me know in comments, is this something you would try to sell or something that if you came across, you'd probably just throw away? I took a flyer on them. There were, I think, 9 of these total, 5 red, 4 blue. I listed them obviously separately because of the different colors, and I just put them up there for $4.99 plus shipping. They were essentially free to me because I didn't have to pay anything for that lot, and I've sold several of these at $4.99 a pop plus shipping. After all my fees, I'm making about $4 a piece on these, which is not, of course, big money, but you make $4 or $5 extra once or twice a week until they're gone. It's free money. Why not take it? So these have actually been pretty cool. You may remember I did a video a couple of weeks ago where I showed you that I picked up a bunch of these CSX Transportation, these railroad timetables. I didn't really get much feedback on that video, but I assume a lot of people were like, I don't know about these. I've already sold a couple of them at $10 a piece plus shipping. I only paid $40 for the entire lot. So I'm about halfway to making my money back, and I've sold 2 of probably 200 items that were in that lot. So this is another of kind of my specialty, the kind of long tail items. I don't expect to sell a bunch of these real fast, but over time, I think this will be a pretty productive lot. If you're into railroading, they're really, really cool. I've talked before about old like military manuals and anything that comes from any of the armed services, especially the older stuff. This is a 1941 Soldier's Handbook, a basic field manual. It was in really good shape. I picked this up at an estate sale for 1 whole quarter. Sold it for $11.89 free shipping. Not a huge flip. I'm not retiring on that one, but it was just a really cool piece to look at, you know, what the prescriptions were for, military field practices back during the World War II era. Harold and Kumar. I've actually never seen this movie. Those who know me won't be surprised by that. I've never been a huge movie guy. I watch them here and there, but I'm not like crazy about them like I am with music. This is one I picked up in a lot. It was new and sealed. I got 55 cents in it. Sold it for $16.99, free shipping. This one was new and sealed, which helped quite a bit. If you can find lots, it's amazing to me how many times I'll pick up a lot of 40, 50, 100 Blu-rays or CDs. How many of them are not opened? It's hard for me to wrap my head around why you would buy a bunch of movies and never watch them, but I find this all the time in these big lots. So that was a fairly decent little flip. This is one of the CDs. If you've been following along, I had the video last week about the 8,000 CD buy. This is one that came out of that lot. The Atticus Ross Book of Eli soundtrack. This thing probably would have been worth more money, but it wasn't in really good condition. It was good. I mean, it's going to be more than playable, but in very good condition. These were listed. The other listings were all right around $30. I listed mine at 20 or best offer. I got an offer of 15. I countered at 17, and it is on its way. If you find any like Atticus Ross, he did a soundtrack. I forget what the film was, but with Trent Reznor from Nine Inch Nails. Those do really, really well. So be on the lookout for anything that has Atticus Ross on it. They seem to be really popular. And this was a great movie. I just said I don't watch many movies. This is one I actually watched. It was really good. I was at a sale. I picked up a bunch of vintage Japanese tourism posters for about 75 cents a piece. They have been here for a long, long time without much activity, and I finally sold one. Really cool. I would say probably late 60s to early 70s era in this lot. This particular one was marked 1970. Japan National Tourist, the kabuki drama. It was a really neat poster. I have some of the free USPS priority supplies, so I just wrap this thing up, put it in one of their tubes, and send it on its way. But real nice flip, $15.99 plus shipping on that one. Another of the military manuals, I picked this up at the same lot as the 1941 field manual. This is the 1979 U.S. Marines Essential Subjects booklet. Real small. You can see a lot of times if I get an odd-sized book, a lot of times I will put a tape measure next to it just so people can see that it's not like a full-size book. I did that on this one, as you can see in the photo. Really interesting little piece. $18.99 free shipping. Again, as with the trend here, not big money, but a nice little flip for the 50-odd cents that I've got in it. Here is your cautionary tale for the day on electronics. You may remember, it's probably 2 weeks ago, I did a haul video and I mentioned I picked up this Onkyo tape deck, and I was really excited because it was in such good physical condition. There were no scratches, no marks. It was in great shape. It had the owner's manual. I'm like, this is going to be a nice score. Comps were $50 to $75. I got it for 20 bucks. Hooked it up, and deck B only plays in one direction. So you'll find this is one of the reasons a lot of folks don't like to mess with electronics. A, you got to test everything, which is time consuming. And B, in a lot of cases, something doesn't work. In this case, a potential $70 or $75 flip turned into a $25 flip. For the most part, I think after fees, I'll probably bust out of it. I don't think I'll lose any money on this, but it was not the score I was hoping it would be. So there's your cautionary tale for the day. Electronics, they can be risky. They can be a big score, or they can be like this, not quite so successful. I paid up for this. Normally on a tape deck, man, 10 bucks is about the max I want to do. But because it looked like it was in great shape, the guy was asking, I think 25. I got it for 20. And as it turned out, I just maybe broke even on it. It's not like a wipeout. It didn't cost me a fortune, but it was certainly not the score I was expecting. And that, unfortunately, is just how it goes sometimes with electronics. This last thing, the lot that I mentioned at the very beginning with all the free stuff. This is another one of those. $49.99 plus shipping. This is a 1953 textbook about antibiotic therapy. Really interesting book to look at the differences from, 60 odd years ago with what medicines were available and what the treatment prescriptions were. This was in really good shape. It had its dust jacket with it. The dust jacket was intact. I had this thing priced probably a little bit over market because I had the only one that had the dust jacket. It's been here for a little while, but somebody finally bought it at the full $49.99 plus shipping asking price. That is probably the flip of the week for me, from nothing to 50 bucks. We will take those all day long. So let me know in the comments, would you like to see more of the stuff that I'm selling, or are these kind of recap highlights sufficient? As I've mentioned in some of my other videos, my average is probably 15 pieces a day, and a lot of them are, $8, $10, $12 books or CDs, and they're not necessarily particularly interesting. But like I said, I know a lot of the other YouTube channels, they literally go over every sale. So let me know, do you feel like this is the right blend of stuff for these videos? And let me know what you think about some of these flips. Let me know what your experience is. If you dabble in electronics, what kind of success rate you've had. I'm probably 50-50 personally on getting things that work and end up flipping for pretty good money, and getting things that don't, and I'm trying to sell them for parts or as is and just barely busting out of them. So let me know in comments. As always, thank you for stopping by and checking out the video. And until next time, it's time to sell. Thanks, guys.